normally I'm on his show talking politics, so it's really, really an honor to have him on my show. He is the host of the Rickey Smiley Morning Show, and he has a new book. It just dropped. You have to get the book now. It is called Sideshow: Living with Loss and Moving Forward with Faith. Rickey Smiley, what's up, man?
Hey man, thank you so much for having me on your show, man. I really appreciate the opportunity. How you feeling?
I feel good, and I want to say thank you for having me come on your show and talk politics. It was funny. You're such a comedy force, and when I was on your show last week, was it last week? Talking the debate, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
I was just talking, just thinking out of my head, and I was talking about Lindsay Davis's shoulder pads. And I said, I ain't seen shoulder pads like that since B. Arthur and the Golden Girls. And I was just talking, you just on the radio. And to hear you laugh so hard, and you're like a comedy legend, it just
Right.
warmed. I made Ricky Smiley laugh. It was so funny. So I appreciate the kindness
Man,
you showed my way.
it was like if you just have this natural sense of humor, man. A lot of people are funny when they're really not trying to be funny. You just saying what you felt, but I just cracked up, man. I'm like, yeah, that was those Phyllis Hyman shoulder pads, man, like back in the day.
Don't you do? I love Phyllis Hyman. You know I'm from Philly, right?
Yeah,
I'm.
yeah.
Oh my God. Did you ever meet Phyllis Hyman back in the day? You ever meet her?
I didn't get to meet her, man, but I got so inspired when I saw her and that jazz saxophonist. I think it's they did Sacred Kind of Love on Showtime at the Apollo. That's a record that I
Yes.
play to this day.
Oh my
I
gosh.
and Phyllis Hyman came to my college, my freshman year of college at Skiggy. She came and performed for homecoming. And it was her and the group that sang, Don't Don't Distress This Groove.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I forgot the name of that group. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they came for homecoming, and I could not believe that Phyllis Hyman was at my university performing. And I was in the gym in the Chappie James building. I will never forget it, fall of '87.
Wow, you saw Phyllis Hyman live. That is
I
incredible.
did. I did, man. I
That's
can tell you about my concerts. I saw Marvin Gaye live when I was a kid. So
wow, wow.
yeah, bro. My mom took me to all the concerts. I think that's how I ended up in the industry, man. I just wanted to perform and entertain. So I would go.
Right,
My
right.
mom, we went to all the concerts that came to town.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. I love that. So listen, your new book, it is so powerful. You really share personal experiences of loss and grief, and it's just very vulnerable. And I think we need this kind of vulnerability and inspiration right now. I think it's really fitting for the moment. What motivated you to write this book and to share this parts of your life?
I was having a conversation with, with a friend about everything that I was dealing with and going through. It was like, man, we know you wrote one book, but this would be a great book. You should write out your feelings and your experiences and everything that you're thinking, and figure out how can this help others. So that's what we came up with, and I'm so proud to be able to put together this what I think is a masterpiece. And I'm not just saying it because I wrote it. Man, when I tell you I laid it all out on the line, it was blood, sweat, and tears. I gave you the most intimate details on everything that I was dealing with and going through, and helping other people relate because they've been through the same thing, and what I did and how I leaned on God and how I got into therapy. And that's why I named the book Sideshow, from that group Blue Magic. Let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry. Step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by, but guaranteed to make you cry. And it's a deep book. It's going to bring out whatever feelings and emotions that you have with the grief that you lost. It's going to encourage you to go and seek therapy from all of your trauma. It's also going to get you closer to God. It's scripture based. It's a beautiful, easy read, and I wrote it just how I speak. Not the regular way, but I wrote it exactly how I speak. So when you read it, it's a conversation with me.
I've had, like many of us, I've had addiction in my family, and
Mhm.
that title Sideshow really hit me because I think when you're dealing with addiction in your family, um, they become the sideshow, and then you become the sideshow as well. It's
Mhm.
very it's a strange thing that you deal with. What were
Yeah.
your coping mechanisms to deal with somebody in your family who's battling with addiction?
The coping mechanism is to try to help them as much as you can. And then me personally, when I got into a space where I felt like my help wasn't being received, I had to step away because I had other kids. You know, I couldn't pour all of my energy and time and resources into an empty black hole. Only thing at that point I could do is just pray, you know, and I had to protect my peace. I mean, it's tough. And sometimes it gets down, you have to make a decision like that because you have other kids, and at this point you got grandkids, and you have to work. You have to be in a good mental space. My job requires a good mental space, and I had to create some distance for a while between my son and I, and it was tough. So you know, when everybody read it, you're gonna understand. You're gonna be able to understand. You're gonna be able to relate to every single chapter of that book because everybody has been through that. But I definitely had to do some coping through um, focusing on what I needed to do. And once I realized that I couldn't help any longer, I had to just bag up and throw my hands up. And sometimes you have to give them to God.
Absolutely. And for folks who may not know, you sadly lost your son to an overdose. Where are you at in your healing now, Ricky? Like where are you? I mean, you're a funny guy. You're on airwaves making people laugh. But where are you at in your healing with this kind of loss?
I'm still healing, still in therapy, still healing, still praying. You know, I have my triggers. You just go through it. It's up and down and it's day to day. It gets a little easier every month to accept the fact that you are living this new life and being a member of this organization that I don't wish on anyone. So you just kind of, you know, day to day, but you have to do things to make yourself happy, which put gas back in the tank because grief will empty all of the fuel out of your gas tank. And a comedy show, laughter, things that you like to do, moments of happiness, those are things that will put gas back in the tank because you can't ride around on empty or you're going to run out of gas. And I just want to tell all the Black men out there that it's okay to cry. You don't have to sit
Yeah.
up. You don't have to be strong. I know your instinct is to be strong, but it is really okay to cry. And sometimes you have to cry. I was talking to a father yesterday. His son was 32 years old and was killed. He came to my book signing event last night, and I called him and his wife on stage, and I explained to people, and I held the book up. I said, "This couple right here that just buried their son last week. This is what the book is all about. It's not about me. It's about them. It's about helping others heal and giving others tools that they can use during their grief process because." You know, we all gonna deal with death at some point, you know, even and we all got to leave here at some point. So it's a helpful tool that's not easy to talk about. You know, we don't want to discuss death. We don't want to go out and tell your kids and get the insurance and show your kids where the papers are and what to do if something happens, because it's a very, very uncomfortable conversation. And what happens is when you go, people don't know what to do and people fall out because, you know, you just have to have the uncomfortable conversation.